Hiya, we're back at the local beauty spot. We've got the Fimi X8 SE 2020 with us, and you're asking, is this video about the Fimi X8 Mini or is it about the X8 SE 2020? Well, it's a little bit about both. So the idea of this video is, if you're looking to buy the Fimi X8 Mini, what are you expecting from it? How is it going to perform? And I thought, because we've already got the X8 SE 2020, that's our only kind of barometer to go on. This drone should perform, if you know, this drone should be very similar. Essentially, we should be getting from the X8 Mini a miniature version of the Fimi. I don't know why the battery's flashing. I think it's okay, I think it's just waiting. But basically, we should be getting a miniature version of this drone. Now, why have they made a miniature version, you're wondering? There's many reasons. The main reason, though, is that any drone below 250 grams does not need FAA registration. There's a lot of other countries where it doesn't need registration either. And so it's quite important to make drones smaller. This drone's pretty heavy and therefore is in the registration side of things, and you're a bit more limited to where you can fly it. So it makes a lot of sense to make mini drones. Now, the only real mini drone that of any quality at the moment is the Mini 1 and the Mini 2. Those two drones are the only drones that really exist on the market today that are kind of worth buying. And everything else that's worth buying is much bigger. And basically one of the examples is the Fimi X8 SE 2020. So we're quite excited about the fact that the Fimi X8 Mini is coming out, because it's basically going to challenge DJI, and competition is always a good thing. Hopefully it will help to make the Mini 2 or the Mini 3 or whatever comes out after that better. We may get firmware updates based on this release to the Mini 2. So why would you go for a Fimi X8 Mini over a DJI Mini 2? Well, the main reason I can see is that it's going to have features that the Mini 2 doesn't have. So it's going to be a kind of miniature version of this. Now, this drone has things like precision landing. The Mini 2 doesn't have it. It has things like active track, or they call it smart motion tracking. The Mini 2 doesn't have it. So you're basically getting more advanced features that you won't see in the Mini 2. Now, DJI would say to you, just get an Air 2. You'll then get your active track, you'll also get obstacle avoidance, and that's great. But as we said earlier, there's an issue for some people now. They're feeling more and more uncomfortable about flying larger drones out in the park, out in areas. I mean, I picked a quite secluded spot for this drone, and that's not for good reason. It's harder for me because I have the camera and what have you about, but there's a good reason, because I want to try and keep away from people if I can. And when you've got a lot of people will try and get involved, or they want to come and join and have a look at the video. They're not necessarily don't want you to fly your drone there. There are people like that, but they kind of want, they kind of want to get involved, and you may not want them getting involved potentially because of the issues. So, safety issues. So I think there's a big case for a Fimi X8 Mini and other mini drones. And I think in the future we're going to see a lot more mini drones. I think the vast majority of drones that come out that are proper non-toy drones, but are full featured camera drones, they will be small. They will be under the 250 grams, and I think the reason for that is that there's issues now with flying these with larger drones. That's not to say everyone has that problem. Now, the Fimi X8 Mini, there's a bit of a weirdity in true Fimi sort of tradition. They've brought out this drone, and at the moment it's on pre-order at Banggood. You can order it. I've got mine on order, but it's only coming with a standard battery. And the standard battery makes it 258 grams. Now, that's a strange decision because the whole point is to get it below 50 grams. But there will be a Pro version that they're talking about, and the Pro version will be 245 grams with the battery, with the Pro battery. Now, the standard battery is a lithium-ion battery, which is hard cells, so it will be heavier, and the Pro version will be the Pro version of the battery will be a lithium polymer battery, which is a chemical battery. So that's what's normal in these sort of drones, and the Mini 2 they use LiPo batteries. That battery will be lighter. I sort of, you know, people will say to me, well, why are they bringing that as 258 gram drone? Now, my gut feeling, and this is just me making things up, it's just rumors, I have a feeling they're bringing it out because they need to get it out quickly for some reason, and maybe they didn't have enough LiPo battery, or they couldn't get enough supplies, who knows? Or maybe it's a sales tactic, I don't know. But they're bringing out a 258 gram one, so I think they want to get quite a lot of sales quickly, and then they'll probably release the Pro battery. Now, the big unveil, if you like, you know, at the moment we're pre-order, the big unveil will be on April the 6th. Maybe then we'll see the Pro battery version become available, possibly. And maybe they're just trying to sell as many standard batteries as possible. But it is an odd decision. It's an odd decision to make a drone that is meant to be in the 250 gram class, as they call it, and is really intended to be below 250 grams for legislation reasons. It's an odd decision to make a standard version and a Pro version. And my only thinking is, I mean, some people are trying to suggest that there will be two different versions of the drone. One will be Pro, one will be standard. I don't think that will happen. I think there'll be one version of the drone and there will be two different batteries. And I think the reason is probably a supply issue or something like that, where they haven't been able to make enough batteries for launch date, but they needed to go quickly. So they've probably gone, well, couldn't we just make a standard battery instead of a Pro battery, or, you know, and then call the other one a Pro battery and get the sales in there before, say, for example, Hubsan come out with a mini drone. Who knows? That's all speculation. I have no idea. I don't know if Hubsan are going to bring out a mini drone. My suspicion is eventually they will. I think everyone's going to go that route. I think they have to. That's the way of the world. That's what the direction we're going. And these drones, the smaller drones, are getting very good. They're starting to compete with this. You won't get the wind resistance. It's a little bit windy today. You won't get the wind resistance that this one's got, but it will do a good job. And it won't look exactly like this one. It's not kind of a miniaturized version exactly looks wise of this one, but it will be, I think, it's beeping at me. It's probably telling me to shut up and get on with the flight. So let's see what we can do. Let's get it up and let's try and see if we're ready to go. Right, here we go. Should auto take off. Right, so it's a while since we've sort of had this drone out, I think. So let's drop the gimbal down, nice and smooth as usual from old Fimi. Now this is a much bigger drone and you don't want to get too close, so I'm kind of trying to, look, it doesn't really hold its position as well as a DJI, and you have to be very sort of careful with it because it's a big weighty drone. I mean, if that clatters into you, that's going to hurt, you know, whereas a Mini 2, you know, it might hurt a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be life-threatening or have any real serious issues. So I think the fact is we're much more wary of the size of this. But as I said, this drone has things like smart tracking. You know, you can basically draw a box around people, track them, circle them, that kind of thing. And that's the sort of thing you're going to get in the Mini Fimi X8 because it's going to have the same features as this drone in a much smaller package. So what I'm going to do, it's going to turn on the recording. Oh, it's moving towards me. Yeah, and again, you know, that's an issue. So I'm going to go up and we're going to have a look at the fours. We're going to go towards the fours and we can have a discussion while basically we're going up and having a look. But yeah, we're going up, no problems. All's looking good on the FPV here. So what we want to do is go forward. There we go. Yeah, go forward. I want to go across that area there. I'll wait for cars to be, for it to be a clear run, and then I want to go up over. Make sure I get my antennas pointed towards it. I want to go and have a look at those fours over there. We want to be high up, get out of people's way. Yeah, looking very nice, the fours today. One thing I'll say is I think on the Mini 2, although it is a quite sunny day, which is odd, you know, blessed be the weather gods that brought us this lovely weather today. But basically we want to have a look at this at these fours. But yeah, I think basically we are, you know, what I think you can expect from the Mini, you know, the Mini version of this drone, the X8 Mini, is I think we can expect to have a really good, you know, 4K 30 camera on it. We're going to get, you know, 8 kilometers range. That's pretty good. Just have a little look around the area. I might take it up a bit higher now. Let's have a look around over the, you know, I think we got some actual houseboat barge type things today, which I was so keen on the other time we didn't have. But yeah, I think we're going to see a drone that is so much more, you know, that is such a good competitor for the Mini 2, because, you know, at the moment it's really only the Mini 2, and DJI are not giving the features really that we want in a mini drone. Now I want the motion tracking, I mean I'd love obstacle avoidance. I don't think we're going to get that, but I'd love to have the kind of advanced features like the waypoints and the smart tracking and what have you that we don't get at the moment. And DJI don't want to give you, and they don't want to give it to you because they've got other drones. They've got they've got their Mavic Mini 2, they've got their Air 2, so the Air 2 and the Mavic 2 Pro. Those drones are basically, you know, they need to sell those drones as well. Whereas the Fimi only really has this drone really out at the moment, and we'll have the Mini. So Fimi's got less kind of you know, incentive to kind of keep trying to sell you this one over the Mini one, and they're giving you basically the features that you know, God, that drone does move fast down the river there, doesn't it? But yeah, basically you're getting features with this drone, this new Mini drone, that, you know, they're not giving you in the Mini 2. So it's a good bit of competition for DJI, and we hope that then DJI will follow suit and we'll start to see them up their game, and they maybe get obstacle avoidance into the Mini 3 or what have you. You know, because competition's good, it's a good idea. I think, you know, there's plenty of room, and yeah, but I'm really excited about some of the things like active track and that kind of stuff. So I mean, I'll give you an idea what the active track does. So I'll send the drone back now, and we can go through those features. So let's do the return to home. Let's get this drone to come back now. So it should come back. So you'll get the standard features. You'll get like the return to home. You'll get the, oh, and that's another thing, you'll get precision landing. So we've got precision landing turned on. This drone should land with precision on this landing pad. When it comes back, it should basically land on its pad. And that's another thing you're getting with the Fimi X8 Mini drone, which you don't get with the Mini 2. You do get it on the Air 2, but again, it's a bigger drone, and also you don't get the option to turn it off on the Air 2. And also, it does behave a bit oddly. I found that you go up and fly around, it's fine when you land, but if you do any quick shots after filming, for some reason, the precision landing doesn't work after that. And we don't know why. Maybe it's a bug in the firmware that will get fixed. Where is that drone? Landing pad not detected. So that's good. So the first attempt is not the first time I've actually done it. I have actually had it landing before. It may pick it up. It may pick it up as it goes down. It's looking for it, and it has cameras underneath, and that's what we should get with the Fimi X8 Mini as well. We should get basically optical flow sensors underneath, camera underneath that's looking for the pad. So that's quite important. I think we're going to get a very good little mini drone that's going to put a bit of pressure on DJI to get things right with the Mini 2 as well, to add these extra features in. It's moved itself across, it's looked for the landing pad, it's going to land on that pad, no problem. Yeah, it's coming down, no problem now. It's not quite, I don't know, it's going back, it's looking for it. It's got our patented, no. It didn't make it onto the pad, but there's a little bit of gusts around at the moment, so that's not necessarily that shocking. Again, we've got our nice sort of blue pad out. We've got our patented padlock securing of the pad. It's because I hate all the mud of the usual pegs, and if you're on concrete, it's not very easy. So get yourself some sort of, you know, small sized, medium sized padlocks, and you'll be all right. But yeah, what I want to do is turn the recording back on again. I want to take off again. Hang on, here we go. Yeah, let's take this drone back up again, and I want to just show yeah, it doesn't go up as high as the Mini 2, I don't think. So what I want to do is I want to show you some of the active track features, get it up. I'm hoping that it'll be a bit more stable in the air, the DJI, sorry, the Fimi X8 Mini. Right, so just get myself on camera. I think we've got to be a certain height, but we'll see how we're doing. I might have to go up a bit higher than that. Right, so the active track is basically, if you go into the little icon on the right down the bottom, you've got features like active track, so smart track they call it. Click on trace, do OK, and then you draw a box around yourself, and then what it'll do is it'll then lock onto you. You click go, and then as you walk around, that drone should track you and follow you. Now this is a feature you don't get on the Mini 2, but you will have this feature on the Fimi X8. So I'll just sort of walk along and prod along through the cowpats here, and that drone will happily follow me. You could be doing a documentary about cowpats or locks or falls. You could be doing basically a documentary, and you can walk around, and that drone should follow you and chat. You know, not chat. Sorry. Yeah, that drone should follow you around while you chat, and that's that. And that's a pretty cool feature that you don't get on the Mini 2. Now the reason for that is they want to sell you the Air 2, they want to sell you the Mavic 2 Pro potentially, and so they've got a lot more reasons not to give you features that Fimi gives you by default. So if we come out of that, okay, so that's a feature that you will get with that drone. And the reason I'm doing this video really is to help people to see what a Fimi drone is like, so that you can make a decision whether you yourself think that it's worth getting a Fimi Mini, because I'm almost certain we're going to end up with a drone that is basically a miniature version of that, but will look more like a Mini 2. So right, so okay, so that's another feature that you just don't get on the Mini 2. So let's take it up a bit, because obviously it's very noisy. I think also you'll get less noise. The smaller drones should definitely have more noise, and I think there's a feature that Fimi don't talk about that you will get with this drone. I think there's this is a feature, and I don't know if I'll be able to get it to do it, because I've actually calibrated my gimbal. I actually basically got a spirit level. I've basically tried to calibrate my gimbal, but even now my horizon to me looks slightly off. Now it could be the wind, it's possible, but there is a big issue with the Fimi X8 SE 2020 and the X8 SE before it, which was a 2018 version. They have a tilted horizon, and it's a real bugbear, because a lot of people prefer the drone overall to a Xeno, which is the Hubsan offering. You know, the kind of lower price drones, the competition with the Pro or the Air 2. These drones are really good, but they have that tilted horizon. Now I think they have the tilted horizon because the gimbal arm is on one side of the camera, and I think the balance there, it just always ends up being tilted. That's my opinion. I don't know if I'm right or not, but in the designs that we've seen for the Fimi X8 Mini, they look like they have a two-sided gimbal. It almost certainly will have two-sided arms on the gimbal, and that should then support that camera better. It's a better design for getting it. I think you will not see tilt. Now I could be wrong. It's just, again, my opinion and from the information that I'm seeing, but I think we will see a Fimi X8 Mini that doesn't have a tilted horizon. That's my prediction. I may be right, I may be wrong, so we shall see. But yeah, basically, apart from that, another thing you're getting as well with this, that this drone actually has, but the Mini 2 doesn't have, and again the Air 2 has, but you know, again, they don't want you to basically have it. So we're going to turn back round a second and just bring it back towards the 4s and go and have another look at the 4s, because we wanted Niagara. You know, we did think about getting to Niagara and sort of getting those 4s, but because of COVID, we couldn't do that. So we're basically getting you the next best thing, which is Spropler 4s here. It's, you know, it's not as busy an attraction. So if you think Niagara is a bit busy for you, then you know this is a good alternative. But yeah, basically you're seeing tilted horizons and what have you, and I don't think with the Mini, I don't think with the Fimi Mini you're going to get that tilted horizon. But one thing you will be getting is HDR footage. So that's what's really cool about this drone. You will get HDR footage. So you know, you'll get 4K 30 frames a second, which competes with the Mini 2, but you'll also get you'll also be getting HDR with that. So that's quite important, I think. So you know, that's another feature that you're getting with the X8 Mini, which you don't get. Yeah, it's looking very nice today. This is a nice, you know, it's a really nice little area. You've got this lock here. You've got some nice barges about. Is that like a speedboat down there? Not sure how well that'll work over here. But you've got, yeah, you've got some nice, you know, nice boats there. That's nice. It's a little bit windy though. I think we're getting a little bit of break up in the FPV. Nice look over the lock. Back round to where we are. But yeah, I think that's the point. I think you're getting a really good drone here. And I know this isn't an X8 Mini, but I think, you know, this is all we've got to go on really. This is what Fimi has produced so far, and I think you know, this is going to be a very good indicator of what we should be expecting from the X8 Mini. I think we're going to see that actually the drone probably will be very similar to the, you know, they're saying that there'll be redesigned software. They're saying that the software is completely redesigned. So I think we might get a bit more Mini experience. We'll get, like, you know, maybe you can tap on an object and then circle that object, which you don't get with this. And let's have a look. Let's go up again. And what we want to do is we want to try another of the sort of quick shot style features. So let's just go up. Yep, and then just go forward. So around there. I don't know if we can really circle anything here, but yeah, so you'll get things like, you'll get features. I think you'll get features that you've got in the Mini. You'll get every feature that the Mini's got basically, but you'll also get other features. So let's just try the orbit. Now I think basically with orbit, so what the problem with this drone is you have to set the center by flying over something. So what we've got to do now, oh no, we don't want to go up actually, we want to come back down. As you want to do that, we want to go forward and then, oh, spinning around a bit there. I think we're basically getting a little bit of break up in the signal here, and it does look like they had a redesigned controller for the Fimi Mini. So not that this is a bad controller at all. I haven't really got the sticks properly pointed at it, I'd say. So I don't know if we've got a very good center point to pick, but I'm gonna set the center here. This works better if you're sort of circling the Eiffel Tower or something like that. I don't think it's so great for circling a, right, so we've got that there. We'll set a radius, 138 meters. Right, then you tap on setting radius. Right, let's set the speed up high. We want the heading to be the center. That basically makes it look at the center. So we're going to set the flight speed up as, you know, decent speed, and then go. And that should basically now circle. It should do a circle for us while we're basically still on the ground here. Is it doing it? Not sure if it is. Yeah, I think it is. But the issue with the design of the software, so I think this is why they've redesigned the software a bit for the X8 Mini. I think basically that they will attempt to give you the same sort of feature you get on a Mini 2, where you can, say you had the Eiffel Tower in front of you, you could tap on the Eiffel Tower and say, circle it. Now, it might not be as simple as that, even with the Mini 2, but I think that's what we're going to see. Yeah, it's just spinning around us now. It's almost circling us, you know, because I think the problem with the Fimi X8 SE's way of doing circle is you have to fly. We found this with Buzz Ludger, where we did a video over in Bulgaria, where we circled the sort of big UFO style building in Bulgaria. We kind of went, you had to fly right over the top of the building, set the center, and then we had to back off by like hundreds of meters and spin it round it. Now it worked, and I think if you get used to it, it works and it's fine. But I think it's a clunky interface. So I would expect that when the Fimi X8 Mini comes out, I think you'll get a more simplistic, and they do mention it. They say one tap shots, I believe. So like it's, you know, it's one button and basically, you know, one tap on the menu and it's doing it. I think you'll get all usual features like droney and all that kind of stuff that's usually in these drones. But I think basically you will get that more easier, you know, kind of tap on an object, go around it. I highly expect that. That is something that people have moaned about. So I think it's very likely that that will happen. Right, so I'm going to stop the orbit now because it's just randomly orbiting things. And then I'm going to get it to return home again. And then we can try out another feature, which is the droney, but you get that on the Mini 2 as well. So I think if you're looking to, you know, basically you're thinking, do I order this Fimi Mini, this Fimi X8 Mini, or do I just go to the local shop and buy a Mini 2? I think there is a good argument for waiting and ordering the Fimi, because you're getting things like the precision landing, you're getting things like the smart track, you're getting things like HDR video, you're getting things, you know, I think you're getting more for your money. It will be cheaper than the Mini 2 as well. The only downside at the moment that I can see is the whole issue with the standard battery, which puts it in the higher weight class, which is a very odd decision. But like I said, I'm suspicious about it. I think they've done it because I think that they, make sure it doesn't land on me. I think that they've done it because of supply issues, and maybe they need to get the drone out quickly. Maybe they just want to deliver on the expectations that one will be coming out. Now, will it precision land this time? Will it precision land? I don't know. Let's see how we get on. It did a good job. Did a good job that time. Right, so we've only got one battery, so I want to record again, and I want to put it back in the air, right? Because I don't like messing. I don't like messing with the battery too much, because if you this is a good tip for all drones really. Don't let your battery run down to nothing, because you do a lot of damage to the battery, and you'll basically lose life on your battery. So yeah, this drone is much more maneuverable than the Mini 2, because it basically goes so fast in comparison. It'll spin really fast. There are settings to change like the speed and what have you, so you can tweak all that. But what I want to do is I want to do a droney. So I think we're gonna basically, oh, low battery. Well, I just want to do a quick droney from here just to show it happen. Okay, right, here we go. Around over the fours. Yeah, let's see if it'll do a droney for the fours. And then there we go. Flight speed maybe a bit faster than that. Distance, you know, up high. And then go. See if we can do that. Right, so it should do a droney away. One of the cool things about this is it puts the quick shots, if you like, like droney, they're all within the same video. With the Mavic drones, you know, the DJI drones, they stop the recording and you have separate videos for the quick shots. So I hope that they don't do that. Yeah, so we're on low battery, but we're not too low. So let it do its droney, and then we'll get it to land. So it's saying low battery, it's finished its droney, I think. let's get it to return to home, see if it precision lands again. But yeah, we've only got one battery with us, the other battery we used the other day. So, and that's another thing to remember, always cycle your batteries. So if you've got two batteries, use one, then the other. Never let one of them get stale. They are smart batteries in these drones, and it will be a smart battery, I'm sure, in the Fimi X8 Mini. But make sure that what you're doing is you're cycling your batteries. So if you've got two, label them 1 and 2, or 3, label it 1, 2, 3, and then work your way through each battery. So every flight, use battery number 1, then number 2, then number 3. And that will keep your batteries lasting a lot longer. You'll get a lot more use out of them. And they're not cheap. You know, some of these batteries can be like between $50 to $100. So, you know, you need to be careful to maintain and look after your batteries, because they've only got so many cycles available, and you don't want to basically be in a situation where they're dying early because you decided to try and fly as far as you could, you know. Yeah, so it's saying not detected at the moment, but I will, yeah, it's picked it up. It always does that. It'll say not detected first, then it will find it, and now it's landing. It's kind of landing backwards, which is odd. But it doesn't matter to it. Let's see how well it does this time. Ooh, cut some of the grass. You know, and the precision landing is actually quite important for, it's more important for the Fimi Mini when it comes than it is for this one. And the reason for that is that this is long grass, and basically you can put your pad down on it, but if it lands either side of the pad, this drone's quite big propellers, high up off the ground, it's not going to really do as much harm to the propellers. But with the like Mini 2 or the Fimi X8 Mini, when it lands, it's a very low profile drone, it's going to get caught up in all that grass. So you're then limited to where you can take off from. If you've got the landing pad, then of course you can take off, you know, anywhere, because you can flatten down the grass. And if it's got that precision landing, and of course it's a much smaller drone, so the chances are it's going to end up in the middle more, that's a good feature, because it will go down and it will basically sit in the middle of that pad, and then it doesn't really matter that you've got all this high grass around it. All this grass is irrelevant, so you can pick more spots to go to. I know you can land it manually, you can even land it into your hand, I'm sure, but it's just extra hassle. Like for me, I've got the camera on, I've got the controller in my hand, you know, I don't really want to be doing all that. I certainly don't want to try and catch that one in the middle of the air, because it's a heavy drone, big propellers, I might cut my fingers off or something. I don't know if it can do that, but you know, I want to be careful. I mean, the Mini is probably not going to have that issue. So yeah, hopefully looking at this drone and seeing this drone fly, of course this is going to have better wind resistance and that kind of thing. It's probably going to go a lot faster than the Fimi X8 Mini, but it might give you an idea if you're a bit on the fence, if you really want to trust Fimi, or whether you're thinking, no, do you know what, I'll get DJI, you know, I can trust them. And hopefully the competition from Fimi, if you do choose to get a DJI drone, hopefully the competition from Fimi will push DJI to put some more of their features, their more advanced features, into the lower drones. And I think the thing is it's because of legislation. We need in the lower weight drones, we need these features now. It's not, you know, yes, maybe if you're filming a Bond film and you need like a massive big, you know, heavy drone that's carrying a massive big camera on it, you know, you're not going to be so worried, because you're going to have all sorts of qualifications to fly that drone. But with our sort of like hobby, where we're coming out, we're doing a film, we're showing people what these drones are like, this sort of hobby flying, you know, we don't want to get into all that kind of legislation and all that kind of training and getting, you know, certified. We want something that largely does what we need to do, which is get up, fly around. It's safe, has a lot of safe features built into it. I mean, basically, they're adding a feature into the Fimi X8 Mini where it will have no fly zone. So if you're flying over somewhere you shouldn't be flying over and you don't know that, it will block you from flying over it. Now, I know a lot of people don't like that. They don't want to be told where to fly their drone, but these are kind of facts of life. If there's a dockyard nearby, the military does not want you flying over it. They're not going to allow you to fly over it. You could be in a lot of trouble. and really I don't want to be flying over it. If I'm accidentally flying over it, that's a bit different. I don't mean to, but if there's software, and DJI does this, and now Fimi will do this, that blocks you from flying over that, or maybe you need permission to fly over somewhere and there's some process where you can get permission easily and that can be done through the app, then that's a really good feature as well. So I think as time goes on, drones are going to get smaller for people like us who are just out flying as a hobby rather than flying as a business and doing commercial filming. I think they're going to get smaller, and I think they're going to have more and more safety features built in. As time goes on, they'll detect other aircraft around them, for example. I'm not saying these features will come with the X8 Mini, by the way, but they might start to detect other aircraft, getting you off the, getting you back down and landed safely, so you're not getting in other aircraft use, in other airspace users' way. Because I think nobody wants to be a problem. We're not flying around to kind of chase after a plane and fly into it. We're not trying to create, I mean, there are idiots out there, of course there are. We're not trying to fly over runways. We're not trying to, I don't think many people, certainly the vast majority of people in this hobby, do not want to annoy anybody, in other parts of aviation, if you like. We don't want to be involved in causing problems. We don't want to get in, we don't want to be flying over other people and annoying them and that kind of thing. We just want to fly our drone around and have some fun and do nice videos, with scenic videos. And if these new mini drones can kind of become more and more capable and enable us to do that, then that's a great thing. We don't want to fly heavy drones if we don't have to. So, I think that's the thing, and I think you're going to see that more and more. I think there's going to be a lot more mini drones because that's the way that things are going, and that's what's demanded of the drone companies. So yeah, I think you should definitely consider the Fimi X8 Mini. I'm really looking forward to getting mine. I can't wait to get it out and fly it. Hopefully I'm right and it's very similar to this. I don't think they're very different in size, so we'll see. But I think the software that's on this gives us a clue of what we're going to get. We know we're getting precision landing. We know we get HDR. We know we're getting smart tracking, so you can, film, but roughly what you're going to expect and how well it should work based on what this drone can already do. Because, they're going to take the software from this, maybe improve it slightly, but this is going to be the basis for the Mini, isn't it? I mean, they're not just going to throw away, oh, we're not interested in what we learnt with this, we're not interested in any of the development on that, we're just going to start again. That's not going to happen. So this drone should give us a good idea as to what we can expect from the Fimi X8 Mini. And potentially you might want to take a look at it. So I'll put links to it down below in the description. I'll put links to this one because maybe you'll go, no, I want that big meaty drone. I don't want that like small drone. I live in a country where frankly we can fly anywhere. I don't know. You may decide that you want this one. But yeah, hopefully that's of some use to you. Hopefully you that can help you make the decision. Hopefully, it's not too different to what we predicted. It'd be interesting to see if we find out about the whole standard battery, pro battery. Hopefully, as time goes on, we'll become more aware of why they did that. Why they brought. I still think it's a very bizarre decision to have a standard battery that's a bit heavier than the kind of weight category. And my suspicion is it's to do with supply, because why, if you're bringing out a drone to compete with DJI, why would you make that drone already not be able to compete with it unless you buy the pro battery? It could be just that they want to make more sales. I bring out a standard battery with the promise of the pro battery later, and then you're going to buy the pro battery later to get your additional battery. Maybe it will come in a nice case that the drone could be put in. I mean, it is odd because I don't know about the previous pre-order. Maybe it came with, because there's no case option. You can't get it with a case. You can't get it with multiple batteries. There's only one battery, and that all to me points towards there being a supply issue, that they couldn't get enough batteries, or that they were worried that they wouldn't be able to deliver on how many orders were going to be made, because they probably knew this was going to be a really popular drone. They probably knew that people would really you know, this isn't just another drone. This is another mini drone, and DJI used to being able to handle massive volumes of sales. You know, I don't think you've ever struggled to get a Mini 2, for example. They've always been available, always been in stock. But Fimi, of course, aren't DJI. They're not as big. I mean, they're part of Xiaomi, and Xiaomi are very good at making phones and what have you. But can they cope with the demand that there should be for this drone? The potential is they thought, well, I don't know, we can't get that many out. So maybe they started with a standard battery because maybe they were easy to make. Maybe they had lots of them. I don't know. So let's see what happens. But yeah, one other interesting thing to note is that on the website, I couldn't see anything about a charger. It talks about charging via USB-C, and it's saying you can plug your battery into a USB-C cable, and it will basically, you know, charge the battery, which is great, you know, because this needs a specific charger. You can't just use your phone charger, whereas you can with the Mini 2. And I wonder, you know, if this is saying we're not going to give you a charger. And when I looked it up, because I bought the Fly More combo, I got a charger with my Mini 2. And I think when you buy a Mini 2 that's not the Fly More combo, you basically don't get a charger with it. I think you just get the cable, you plug it into something, you charge, you know, USB off your computer, whatever, and you charge from that. And I'm wondering if this is a situation where the first version will come without the charger, but I don't know. They do say what's included in the pack, and it's not listed. The charger's not listed in there. But I don't think that's a reason not to get it, but that's just some other useful information that I forgot about and thought I better mention, is that I don't expect it to come with a charger, but neither does an iPhone these days. A lot of these companies are not giving you chargers anymore. They're kind of assuming that you'll just grab a charger off Amazon, and they're all kind of universal. So they're all USB chargers. You can get ones that fast charge and ones that don't. You know, I think they're just assuming you'll have a charger and that it'll be fine and they don't need to make one. Maybe for environmental reasons, probably for saving money reasons, but I don't think it's a reason not to get the drone. It hasn't put me off. I've got mine on pre-order. I'm excited. I'm every day looking at the apps, looking at the website, checking what's going on. Is there I mean, this morning there was some sort of weird flash sale notice that said £74. I got up early, I was ready for the time that the flash sale was meant to start, and it turned out that it just went back to £23.59 and started again. So I never got it for £74. I'd already pre-ordered it, of course, but I thought, well, I'll have two if it's £74. But it didn't happen. And so there's a lot of weirdities. There's a lot, you know, I think this is the exciting thing, and buying from like a Chinese site rather than just going down to Argos or I guess Walmart or whatever company, you know, is local to you, is that it kind of is a little bit more of a exciting ride. You know, you don't know what's happening, you don't know why, and it's kind of it's very interesting experience. But anyway, I have had good experiences with Banggood. I've ordered like several drones from them. This came from Banggood. I had my Xeno Pro and Xeno 1 from Banggood. The delivery was all fine. I never had any problems. So I've no doubt that the drone will turn up and it will all be good. But there's certainly some weirdities around the standard and the Pro battery. But I think I'm just going to order that Pro battery separately when I get that chance, and probably a case. And I maybe that's what Fimi have predicted. They went, yeah, we'll get you buying the standard battery. That's your spare battery. Then later on we'll say, look, do you want to buy a Pro battery and a case? Yes, of course I will. Take my money. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope that's useful to you. I hope, you know, you've got something out of that, and I hope that, you know, it was a good chance to fly the Fimi and you enjoyed the flight. But thanks very much for watching. Please like, please subscribe, please share to your friends. We'll see you again in the next one. Thanks very much.